Is this the best cheap used luxury car you can buy? Or am I clinically insane for buying this thing? We will find out. We will find out with time and miles and use. And this is just kind of a timestamp video on buying this thing. It is July 30th, around there, somewhere around there, and 2022. And I basically just got this thing. I've had it for a little bit, but I wanted to make this video just to show you guys what I got, that I don't have the Yukon anymore. I sold the Yukon and I bought this for the same price, just about. So pretty much even trade. I bought this from a friend, college friend, and yeah, so that made me a little less nervous about it. I knew that he drove it back and forth to school a bunch, like 5 hours. I know his family is pretty loaded, so they maintained it, fixed everything that broke on it, and then some. And I also know they did the airmatic compressor, valve block, and all the 4 air shocks recently. So that makes me feel a little bit better about it. I probably wouldn't have bought it if not. I also would not have bought it if it was not a 550. I think the 550s look way better than the 450s. The 550s have the fender flares and they have the bigger wheels on them, the wider wheels. So the stance is a lot better than the 450. The 450s kind of look narrow and tall, whereas the 550s look a lot more planted on the ground and wider with the fender flares. So that was a big selling point on this. Also the color, and I kind of wish it had the black interior, but the beige interior is nice as well. Also, it's just optioned out. They bought this thing brand new, and as far as I can tell, it has every single option besides the sport pedals. So yeah, I drove it home like 5 hours. It's a beast on the highway. It feels like a tank, but it's also kind of light on its feet because it's got so much power. It's a 5.5 liter M273 is what they call this. So yeah, it moves pretty good. It handles amazing for a big SUV. You know, coming out of the Yukon, that thing was basically like a truck, you know, body on frame truck. This drives like a small Mercedes. Like, I'm comparing it to my dad's Passat. I mean, it drives like that thing. It feels very light on its feet and very like tossable around corners for the size that it is and everything. It's all-wheel drive, obviously. It's got a trailer hitch, which was crucial. Yeah, pretty much everything works on it. I know it's going to need new tires in the front and new brakes, you know, pads and rotors in the back. Also a light bulb there. Had a rear brake light out, which I fixed. I was able to fix that myself. They're not LEDs, you know, they're regular bulbs, so you can just go to AutoZone and buy them, which is very nice. You're not getting into the era of cars where it's LED and you have to buy the whole headlight, blah blah blah. So that was comforting. Also, there's a lot of like repair videos for this online because it's a 2009. I mean, these things have been around for a pretty good amount of time, so people kind of generally know how to fix them and what goes wrong and preventive maintenance and stuff like that. So it's kind of a wealth of knowledge for these on YouTube. And the Mercedes GL Facebook group is very helpful. If you have a car and you want to know how to fix it, join the Facebook group and just ask those people your problems, because chances are someone in there has dealt with the same issue. So super helpful Facebook groups. That goes for anything too, not just cars. But yeah, the interior is nice. Obviously the screen is a little dated, but you know, who even really uses the screen in a car? I mean, basically you get in, you plug your phone in, you play music, and that's the extent of it. I mean, these cars with like the giant screens and stuff now, it's like, yeah, they look cool, but like what's the point? You know, I'd rather just have a regular climate control knob and volume knob and not have a screen beating into my eyes all the time. So yeah, it's got I'll do a more complete video with all the features, but it's got touch sensitive door handles, so if you have a key in your pocket it unlocks. It's got push button start, keyless, like I said, keyless entry. You know, it's not perfect, obviously. It's got 130,000 miles, but everything's really well, has held together really well. Like the doors shut with minimal effort. There's no rattles, no wonky suspension or steering or drive line slop or anything like that, so that's comforting. On the inside, pretty much everything seems to work, besides there's a few lights here, like some lights are out on this. And I think that's about it for things that, oh, this is broken, so that doesn't latch down. Not a big deal, doesn't rattle or anything. But yeah, everything seems to work besides that. I'm sure, you know, I might figure out something else that's wrong with it the more that I have the car. But there's just as much room, if not more, back here than my Yukon had. So that's great. Like in the front, there's more leg room than the Yukon. And also you have these little cutouts in the seats, which give you more room. You got your rear air, these OG screens. Smells nice in here. Doesn't smell weird. It's got power third row that lifts up and down, which is really nice. And kind of impressive for this seat, kind of makes a noise. But pretty impressive for 2009 to have a power third row up and down. I mean, Doug DeMuro thinks that's a big deal in a 2022 car, but this thing had it in 2009. So yeah, that's the update video. I'll probably be doing, like I said, tires, the rear brakes, and an oil change. Front tires, not the rear. That'll be the first thing I tackle. But as of now, she's sitting pretty and the air suspension is functioning, so I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. All right, guys, that's the first video, and there'll be more to come on this thing. See you later.